Why is the entire country of Taiwan angry at J.K. Rowling? So this is Lin Yuting. She is a female boxer from Taiwan and is an incredible champion at the sport. And unfortunately has been the person that has been obsessed over about by the far right across the world and characters like Joanne who are convinced that this is actually a trans woman. The anti-trans crowd are shouting about protecting women, when in fact Lin Yuting's story is directly a story of someone learning to literally box at 13 to protect their mother from their abusive father. She has done more to prevent gender-based violence than any of these people tweeting have ever even dreamed about, especially people like J.K. Rowling, whose only feminism is attacking trans people. So where does this all start? So for this particular Olympics, Amani Khalif and Lin both qualified for the Paris Games coming through qualification events organized by the International Olympic Committee, the IOC. All right. The reason the IOC was doing the qualifiers this time is because the International Boxing Association has been banned from participating with the IOC because they have vast amounts of corruption. And this is going back many, many years and predates the current controversial president of the IBA, this guy named Umar Kremlev. And Umar is a very reactionary political character and buddy-buddy with Vladimir Putin. And he posted on his Telegram channel that the, quote, DNA tests had proved that Amani Khalif and Taiwan's Lin Yuting had XY chromosomes and thus were excluded from the sports events. And then his message on his Telegram channel was then reported by the Russian news agency TASS, or TASS. And this is the entire story. The IOC's statement released during this controversy again affirms that they were disqualified through no valid mechanisms, with no due process, and with no proof to back up the claims that only came from the head of the International Boxing Association, the IBA. So it is literally just his word against nothing. And the qualifications are based on the same qualifications back in Tokyo in 2020. The International Boxing Association's own minutes on their website prove that the IBA General Secretary and CEO was the only person for why this decision was made. That's it. It was just his arbitrary choice. And the IOC confirms again that the IBA's recognition for the Olympics has been withdrawn, so they have no place to be making any of these statements. There is a reason why the alternative world boxing was set up to replace them last year. And who is Umar Kremlev, our IBA chief? Well, this is the guy who thinks he is the judge of all gender. He not only has been a controversial leader for the fact that he's been non-stop lobbying to have Russian and Belarusian athletes to be admitted into international events where they are currently prohibited from running underneath their national flag because of the invasion of Ukraine that is continuing to go on. Well, Mr. Umar thought that that was no problem to competing. But it gets so much worse. See, back in September 2022, he tried to ban the entire Ukrainian national team, saying that they could not compete under their national flag, that they had to compete underneath the IBA flag. This caused incredible outrage in the International Olympic Committee, who wanted a full review. And eventually they backed down the next month. But the day after, they allowed to have Russian and Belarusian boxers to be competing again underneath their national flags. This is wild, right? But it sees clearly that this guy is a political operator and he's trying to wage political warfare using his position as one of the heads of a world sporting organization. Not only that, after this event happened, Finland and Sweden announced they plan to boycott IBA events, and this continued to kick off the dissolution of the IBA and countries breaking away from it. And this is already after he had brought in Gazprom, the state-run Russian oil company, to be the sole sponsor of the International Boxing Association. And it paid off all of their debts, including a $10 million debt to Azerbaijan. This should show you how deeply tied in this character is. Then in February 2023, it was found out that the IBA was attempting to sabotage the IOC-approved qualification pathway for the 2024 Summer Olympics, as in the one currently happening now in Paris. This resulted in the US, Poland, Switzerland, Netherlands, Great Britain, Ireland, Czechia, Sweden, and Canada all leaving the organization and joining the rival World Boxing. By June of 2023, the IBA had lost their IOC recognition status, and as of July 2024, 37 federations, national federations from around the world have joined the new World Boxing. And I think what is so comical for me is the chair, the CEO of the IBA, decided to release a video complaining about the opening ceremony using a lot of slurs and homophobia and all these negative things. But at the end, he wants you to know that actually the Olympics, they're not that great. The real games you should go to are the Friendship Games. And he urges all the athletes to attend the Friendship Games. If you're not aware what the Friendship Games are, this is some games organized by the United Arab Emirates, and it's meant to be basically like the trad Olympic Games for conservatives, basically. So I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure this guy shouldn't be determining who is or isn't a woman or should be anywhere near making these decisions about sports.